Whew. Okay, so Phase 5 of the MCU is finally here. I, for one, am excited because I gotta tell you, outside of No Way Home and 2/3 of Shang-Chi, I was not feeling Phase 4 in the least. So now we got Ant-Man 3, Quantumania. I think it's Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. And this is set to set up the whole, our next big bad in the MCU, who we're gonna see in a lot of media.
If anything, that's what it did.
Yeah, and so this one, I'm going to start with, there's just something I have to say I didn't like. Actually, you know what? We'll save what I didn't like. I will say the one thing I loved. His name is Kang. Let's get into this. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Small Couch Reviews. It's your boy Sam.
It's your boy Jovi.
Yeah, Grand Shucket set us up with an early screening. We got to see this a day early, so thank you to them. Stick around to hear about them at the end of the video. And yeah, we saw Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I actually have kind of a bunch of things I want to say,
Right.
But I'm gonna let you go.
Well, I don't know if I have a bunch of things to say. I kind of have like a pretty direct, which is not like me. So I'll start good, the bad, the ugly. I like to start with the bad. I didn't say, or how about this? Here's a statement. This is not a bad movie. It just wasn't that great. Like it didn't. It was just like, oh, okay. I get it.
And I'm gonna get into exactly why I think that too.
Yeah, I get it. Like I get this I don't even know if this had to happen. Mm-hmm. Somebody asked me on the way home, "Hey, does this like really start the phase, or like this just drives the phase?" And I'm like, yeah, but so did Loki.
Yeah.
So it's just like, okay. Yep. Right? That's how I felt watching it. I was like, okay.
Yeah. So we watch movies for a while. Normally, I can tell when his emotions are in what he says. So he's quiet the whole movie. I can pretty much tell. Like he's just absorbing it. Like even in Black Adam, which wasn't a great movie. You were saying things.
Yeah. And this one was like, so I'll continue with like the because when I say again, it's not, I don't have like this. It's bad. It's just like The comedy even was like the first one, funny as hell, naturally funny for me.
Okay.
Second one, the ghost storyline wasn't that interesting personally.
Okay.
And then this one, it was like, oh, naturally funny stuff. Then forced humor. Cringy. Forced humor. Then it was like, there was no in between. There was like, oh, that was funny. Then it was like, it hit, and then you kept it going.
Oh yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about. I'm going to talk about him too.
Yeah, and then it was like, I didn't need that. Yeah. Some predictability. Not some. I say it all the time. We could have wrote this movie. Seriously. And it's not. Again, these are like it's bad, and then it's just like it's like floating, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not saying that is horrible. It's just like, yo. And I'll end my bad with this. Did this have to be an Ant-Man movie?
Nope, I don't think so, and that's my biggest problem with it. But I'll get into more.
It just,
yep.
The connection that they tried to make, or not try, they did. It completely could have been in another storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Now for the good. You already said it.
Oh, Kang, yeah.
Jonathan Majors, man.
Like that dude's like real quick, bro. I think I saw him in the Black Cowboy, The Harder They Fall.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. I want to see this movie.
Yeah.
He was fantastic. Like,
Yeah.
do I need to watch Lovecraft?
You haven't watched Lovecraft?
No, I haven't.
You should. It's probably one of the biggest mistakes HBO has made in the last 20 years.
Okay, all right.
Bringing... people watched the hell out of that show. If that was his debut, you know,
mm-hmm.
I wanted more from that.
Okay, yeah.
Like, he showed... That doesn't even, like... That's just, like, a tip of his acting. Everything else he's done since then has been amazing.
Okay, got you.
And this movie has put him up higher and higher on my list.
Yeah, the dude commanded every scene he was in.
Yes.
Every scene.
It's like...
From his... I mean, even, like... They introduced him in a kind of lackluster way, like when he first just, like, kind of walks in the room.
Yeah.
But when he gets there and the music just stops and it's just quiet and he's just talking, it's like...
Yeah.
Yo, this dude, this is... Like, there are no quips. There are no jokes. I don't think there are any... All the jokes happened in scenes Kang was not in. He's very serious about what he needs to do.
Yeah.
And I think that probably made him, like, a really good... Like, you know, he's kind of like a... He's like the most Thanos we've gotten since Thanos. Like, he's not, like, overly loud or crazy or violent. He's very calm in what he says. And that calm demeanor is just terrifying.
Yeah. And then, you know, transition to him... And not, without doing any two spoilers, because we do want to do a big spoiler thing, a big spoiler review. Just the two sides. Like you said, that's serious, calm demeanor, but you know he's capable of destroying everything in his path.
I mean, spoilers for Loki. This is a variant of the guy we saw in the last episode of Loki. And that one had basically destroyed everything, created one timeline, and then he was like, yeah, I'm tired of this.
Yep.
And then when he died, everything split off, and this is one of those variants. So, yeah, he's definitely capable. Like, and you understand, when he talks about things in this movie, when he talks about time, or he talks about Avengers, you see that, like, they're like... I mean, no pun intended. They're like ants to him. Yeah. Like, yo, the dude,
I think like, it was very, you're so minuscule.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, when you hear this and you hear him talk, you're like, okay, I understand. Like, because my biggest question, I think a lot of people's questions was, yo, what's going to be the next big, like, how do you get bigger than Thanos erasing half the universe? And, I mean, you can kind of see, like, this dude, like, again... He's on another level.
How about Kang's destroying every single universe?
Like, yeah, that's...
I don't think anyone have thought about that.
Right, like, it's just... And it wouldn't have sold if this dude didn't sell it. And when you hear him talk, I can't wait to spoil the review. When he talks about, like, the timelines and the Avengers and stuff, and you're just like, again, he's just mentioning them like they're, just things in the wind. He doesn't care. It's amazing.
It's again, and I'm trying so hard not to reference Loki, but it's important because that's just how we're introduced in a way. Just like with the Infinity Stones sitting.
Oh yeah, exactly. They were the Infinity Stones were paperweights.
Yeah,
it's and outside of time, like where Kang operates. And
we're showing this like, yo, your small little universe 616, and then that's nothing.
Yeah, I don't even think it was on his radar, to be honest with you. Yeah, like he didn't care.
Like doesn't care, and then man, it's just yes. Yeah, that is the highlight.
He's the best part of this movie.
I'm not going to talk 5 minutes about that, but he definitely is, and amazing performance in this man. It's making me even more excited for Creed 3.
Oh yeah, okay.
Other good things. Like some of the introductions of these characters, some of them that got, I guess, spoilers, get killed. It's just like, all right, cool. That was cool. Like we got to see, characters from a different. It's not even a universe. It's within a universe, the quantum realm. Yeah, it's very weird there, and I like that. I guess the negative on that side was this didn't look like a movie from 2023. The CG wasn't.
I was going to say
CG wasn't in my opinion like the best. At all.
Here's the thing with that, and that's something I really wanted to point out: the visuals. Yeah. I'd say maybe 65% of the visuals were like Doctor Strange, like standard, where just like the standard in this universe. Like when they're actually interacting with like the creatures in the quantum realm and stuff. I mean, it's okay, it's passable. Yeah. But there are a lot of scenes where I can like see they're like standing like on a platform, and I'm like, yo, that's a green screen behind you. Like I can tell
textures, and then like touching things. My hand doesn't exist. This is an actor floating. Like it's just like that was like rubbing or like holding. It was like this. You could see the gap from, and I was like, oh, not a Marvel film. It's like, why?
Yeah.
Not something that is like, this is the standard, and it seemed like they dropped the ball. I don't know because we were watching it in Dolby or what, but it's like, yeah, when the things look cool, they look great.
Yeah. When
they didn't, it was like, but it didn't have any. It didn't have the traditional Marvel when you were like, damn, that's horrible CG.
Oh yeah.
It was a consistent like, this is okay. But if it was done better, I feel like we would have been sucked into that universe a little more. I didn't really care that we were in the quantum realm.
Yeah, exactly.
It didn't, like, I didn't really... You're not thinking that you're microscopic, you're smaller than an atom. I wasn't thinking that when I was watching it. And that's... I don't know. This is a very weird review for me, because I'm trying to do better by not going into these new Marvel films expecting Infinity War or anything like that, because we just know that that's not what we're
right. No,
I tell everyone that, I try to tell myself that. I'm not saying that's what you're going to get, and I don't expect that. It's like, hey, I don't know, because we're going to talk more about this. We're going to talk very deep about this later. I don't know if this needed to be an Ant-Man movie again.
Yeah, and that's probably So, all right. So a couple things. First off, I do not like the Ant-Man franchise. I think I've said it more than one time. The first Ant-Man movie, I think, is probably the second worst Marvel movie, or third worst after Thor and Iron Man 2. I don't like it.
It's the second one worse than Dark World.
So I don't like I thought the first one was it was Iron Man all over again. And in my theater specifically, I remember there was nobody laughing at all the jokes that Michael Pena was saying. No one laughing at them. Okay. And I was one of the people not laughing. I was like, this just fell flat to me. In the second one, I actually enjoyed the second one more, and I'm in the minority. I have people who enjoyed it more.
Yeah.
And I did laugh because when Scott shrunk down to the size of like the elementary school, and he was running through it. That was funny.
That's funny. Yeah.
Like that was funny to me. But again, that movie was all over. There were a lot of things going on in that place. Right. And I mean,
you talk about about motivation. The motivation for Ghost just didn't do it for me.
I mean, yeah, I got you. I mean, but I still at least liked the character.
The character was cool.
Yeah.
And so a little spoiler for everybody, they took her out of Thunderbolts.
Oh, okay. Okay. But yeah, so and then we get this one. And again, I just wanted a good movie where I was like, I like Ant-Man in this movie, and I didn't get that. Real quick, something that hit my head just now because I want to remember this. There are a couple inconsistencies here. Mm-hmm. I need to understand, and please tell me if I missed something. So in Endgame, we learned Scott was in the quantum realm for 5 years, but he said to him it was 5 hours. Mm-hmm. Michelle Pfeiffer's Janet character was in it for 30 years, and it was actually 30 years. How does that work? I need someone to reconcile that for me.
When you caught that, I saw your face because it didn't make sense. But then I'm trying to make sense of it in a sense that maybe she was in a different part of the quantum realm. Maybe time. We don't know how time works. Kang says it multiple times. The way we perceive time is not.
Okay. All right. So, maybe.
I don't know. Maybe that was because it was so inconsistent. They had to put that line in it. It's maybe the way we perceive time. So if that was only 30 hours for her,
That would, yeah, but that would have been. I don't know. She was there for 30 years. That's what she said.
I mean, she learned the language and
I mean,
learned martial arts.
Yeah. So she, I mean, like I didn't understand how that worked. Yeah. So maybe they said it in another show. I don't know. Let me know. Yeah. And then the second thing, I remember very distinctly in the first movie, they said that when you shrink things down, they keep their mass. Yeah. That's why, like, you know, he's like, they said he's like a bullet because he can just jump and he'll still hit somebody when he's small. Yeah. Okay, if that's the case, how are they walking around with cars in their pockets? Because they aren't strong enough to pick up cars. Other people.
I mean, he even had a suitcase full of cars.
Yeah, so that's just, again, I don't know if this inconsistency has been pointed out before, but it's just something I thought of.
Comic logic.
Well, if that, I mean, I could get then just don't say they keep their mask. You didn't have to try to science it up because the science doesn't make sense now.
Yeah.
But anyway, to this movie, so we go to this quantum realm, and my thing with this is we're about maybe 35 minutes into the movie, and I still don't know what the actual goal of this movie is. Like in the first one, it's like, okay, I need you to steal this from Darren Cross. Because, you know, he's evil. All right, whatever. There's a motivation there. And then in the second one, it's like, we need to save our mom, so we need to get this MacGuffin to save her. Okay, I got it. In this one, you would think it's, okay, well, we need to get home.
Right.
But they're separated, so it's like, okay, well, do you need to go home, or are you going to join this little mini rebellion you found? And then Janet is like, well, we need to go. Janet, you know, she's not talking.
Right.
So us as the audience and her compatriots don't know why she's so motivated to go, like, find this dude. And it's like, okay, so are you trying to go home? Are you trying to find this dude? Now you got this rebellion going on. It's like, oh, now you have to go, get this, this energy core. And it's like, there's a lot of things going on here. And and don't even get me started on the third act. It was just nuts. And all of this just brings me to the grand conclusion of what I think this movie is. Like Joey said, did this need to be an Ant-Man movie? No, it did not. Yeah. This movie, it's not as egregious as the movie I'm about to mention. But it seems to serve the same purpose that Captain America: The First Avenger served. This movie exists to set up other movies.
Yeah.
Now, it's, again, Captain America literally ended with a commercial for the Avengers, which I just won't forgive. But this one...
It's funny as hell.
This one is just... It's there for Kang. And how do I know this? What did it say at the end of the movie? The movie's called Ant-Man and Wasp. Did it say Ant-Man will return?
Nope.
Did it say Wasp will return? What did it say? It said Kang will return. It's his... It's about him. That's all this movie was.
I don't know if you're going to have to take that out or not.
That's all this movie was. Well, I mean... You knew Kang was going to be... spoiler, Kang is going to be in other movies. I mean, he's the big bad.
He's the big bad of this whole thing.
Yeah, so I just... Again, I don't know. It was a lot going on. The story in this one was just... I mean, you're kind of along for the ride. You know, you don't really have like a goal in mind.
It's just... You're just watching a movie.
Yeah, I think Marvel stans are going to love it. And I don't want to sound like I'm hating, even though I don't. Again, I haven't found a movie in this franchise I like, and it's sad because I haven't found a movie where Ant-Man is the main thing I'm there to see yet.
Right. Even when we were in the bathroom, people were like, "Oh, it's not as bad as what Rotten Tomatoes said," and I was like, yeah. I mean, I already know what my score is going to be. It's not going to be a 50.
Oh, is that what Rotten Tomatoes gave it?
Yeah, it's rotten.
Oh wow, it's okay. Maybe that's not fair.
Yeah,
I don't think it's as good. Like, so this might be controversial. I still think the second one is probably my favorite in this.
Yeah.
In these three movies, Kang withstanding. If
this was more fleshed out, and we still got all the Kang scenes, then this probably would be my favorite.
Yeah.
But this one wasn't fleshed out.
It wasn't.
It just felt like we were just watching the movie.
You're just watching stuff happen. Yeah. And then you had quip here.
Yeah.
And it's just, and again, like he said, some of them hit, some of them, especially at the end, some of them just
went.
It was bad.
I was laughing at how bad it was.
Yeah.
It was like, this is comical. And there is some if you've seen spoilers already online, there's there's some interesting choices they've done with a character.
Well, you talk. Well, yeah, I just want to say this. So he's in the trailer, so I don't think it's a spoiler.
Okay.
MODOK is in this movie, and when you first see him, well, I don't think they know who he is, but when you first see him, it's funny.
There's spoilers out of who it is.
Yeah. Okay, but yeah, so you see him as funny. You know, they pull his little body out the vat, looking like Rod Wave, and like in his little, like it was funny.
It's like that was the extent. Like, okay,
and then, but yeah, they kept dragging it out.
Funny. Don't keep mentioning it, or like keep showing what made that funny.
Yeah, like, you know, he has little arms and little legs, and it's like they keep focusing on that.
MODOK has little arms and little legs, and he's a head. Like, that's funny in itself, and it's like, if you think about every MODOK that's been drawn, animated, anything, it looks funny and does not make sense.
And you know what? He was introduced 3 separate times to Scott, to Janet, or to Scott, to Hope, and to their father.
Yeah.
Hank. 3 separate times, and it's like the same joke each time, and I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. It fell flat for me after the first one. All that to say, Jovi, what are you going to give this movie?
It's a 3 for me, man.
I give it a 3. So I guess if we were on Rotten Tomatoes, we'd be up to 60%.
Yeah. So it's like it's not a 50.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's barely a passing grade. That's not even a passing grade.
Yeah. I think again. I mean, the movie did its job. Yeah. The two end credit scenes do have me very curious to see what Marvel's going to do with Kang in the future.
Yes.
Like, I'm very curious to see how, because, you know, they like to put spins on stories we know.
Sad
so
when the extra credit scenes are better.
Yeah. So,
I just thought about it. I was like, oh, the first one was really cool.
Yeah.
And then the second one was like, all right, awesome, because I'm excited for that storyline. And now explains what that storyline is going to be.
Yeah.
So now I'm excited for the phase, and now I'm excited for the little side stuff that is being created with this phase.
Yeah. So I think the bottom line is this movie did its job to get us, I guess, excited for Phase 5, but it was not a good Ant-Man movie. No. I guess that's what we're getting at here. But anyway, we've talked long enough, guys. Ant-Man, Quantumania. Ant-Man and Wasp, Quantumania. What did you think down there? Let us know. You notice we barely talked about Wasp because she barely had anything to do in the movie.
She did some wild...
I feel like she was sidelined a lot of it.
She was sidelined, and then I feel like the stuff that they did put in was like her, like even her action shots. Like, that's the second one when she was fighting was amazing. I know we were finished, but comparatively, she's not cool in this.
Yeah.
The second, and that was the highlight of the second movie.
Oh no, I know. That's why I like.
She was fire. This, like, even the way she's punching. It looks so like, yo, did the choreographer not tell you to redo that?
Oh my god.
Yeah, she got sidelined. I really feel like they just, like, her scenes were like extras.
Yeah.
And that's not fair, but this review's over.
Review's over. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching, y'all. Until next time, we out.
Deuces.
Shout out to our friends over at The Grand Shuck It. They really do hold it down, and if you don't know who they are, you will definitely want to. So go check out their website at thegrandshuckit.com. There you will find all you will ever need in the world of anime, manga, TV shows, movies, books, comic books, video games. They have it all in one nice, simple, consolidated space. They post written reviews on all that stuff, and they have several hundred episodes of podcasts that are, quite frankly, hilarious. So go ahead, check out their website. Again, thegrandshuckit.com, and also give them a follow on Twitter. That way you will never not be in the know.